Okay, let's get started. It's hard to kind of follow how many folks have joined the call, but I see some crazy 2,367 number here. But we'll get started. So, hi, I'm Abhishek, and today I'm going to talk about product management beyond conventional frameworks. Um, there is so much in product management. There's so many frameworks, and there's so much to learn and grow. And when you really get started at the job, sometimes it's really chaotic, and it's hard to follow where to begin with. What I'm going to do today is let me see if I can change the slides here really quick. I hope you all can hear me all right. So yeah, what I'm going to talk about is a little bit of introduction about me, and I'll discuss some core PM skill sets that I've identified, and I'll share my learnings over the talk. So who am I? I'm Abhishek. I'm based out of Berlin, Germany. So it's currently 9:30 in the night. I think I'll just go straight to bed after this talk. But yeah, I'm a computer science engineer by education, and I made a move into product management after my MBA, for which I moved to Germany, and it's been 10 years since then. I got to work with a lot of big organizations like CSC, eBay, and also real startups like Blacklane, which is a ride-hailing company from Germany, which is where I spend most of my time, and sort of saw the journey of scaling a company from 70 employees to 500 employees and millions in revenue. Currently, I'm a product lead at Issue, which is a content creation platform based out of Silicon Valley. One of the things I sort of, when I was trying to understand product management, especially coming from an engineering background where I had to do a lot of solutioning, and I was a solution engineer as well. Your mind, or my mind specifically, would automatically jump into the solution, or thinking, hey, whether this is possible, if that is possible. But as I grew into product management, I understood the biggest mind shift change that I had to do is, now my job is not to find solutions; it's actually to construct the right problem. And I think that is the core job of a PM, to construct the right problem. And then, of course, prioritizing which ones to solve first is a big part of it. And we have thousands of frameworks around it, right? You pick a problem space, and you'll have a framework to kind of solve it. But this mind shift change is what was the biggest learning for me. So my job is now more to construct the problem statement really right, and then I have a whole tech team to help me find the solution. And of course, we are Google as well for the company, right? You just list the top problems that you should be solving as a company. And people in communication is sort of a big part of it. I will stress a lot on communication because so when I started really digging into, okay, what really are the core skills of PM? How do you become a good PM or great PM? I think it's really hard to become a great PM. I mean, depends. You want to have a domain specific knowledge, or if you like variety, there's just so much to expand and learn and grow. But for product management, we all might have seen this pie of UX design and business. Business technology and design. That's where the intersection of it is product management. And I kind of wanted to take it one step further. Is I think the real core skills that you need to be good at for being a good product manager is communication, design, engineering, and business acumen. Right? At every time, I mean, we are talking to so many people. Individual teams, or engineering teams, stakeholders, designers, users, and if you fall short on your communication skills, I think it impacts in one way or the other the end product, right? But if you can communicate clearly, if you can communicate better, You can convince your teams, your stakeholders, and the management itself to drive towards the goal that you envision for the company. And I would like to dive into these core skills, and especially on communication, because I think that's one skill that puts all the other skills really up and center, and really communication skills gives you that power to march forward. So let's zoom into each skills and how we can get better at it, especially communication. So again, communication, it's a big umbrella term, right? It will help you only when you understand who you're communicating with. So it's really, really important to understand your audience. And so if you're addressing a town hall, it needs a very different kind of skills, right? And also if you're in a town hall and there are thousands of people and you start to show crazy charts and numbers, I don't think you'll grab the attention of the people. Storytelling is really, really important in that stage. But if you're in a team discussion and you just keep throwing stories, that will also not work. You need to get their hard facts, data, and numbers, that what is that we are after? What are we optimizing for? And there's no magic wand to sort of get better at it, right? Practicing is the only way to get better at written and verbal communication. The more we practice, the more we write, the clearer we get. And after a while, I think the biggest gift you also can give yourself is clarity of thoughts, and writing really helps you do that. And how do you do? Like I really believe I think, as I said, practice, there's no other way than practicing it. And one should write their own marketing messages, and every feature that we build, we should write our own communication. And every time we communicate, ideally it should have these four sort of parameters to it: that what is the goal, what's the context, what will we do to achieve it, and any data if needed. I mean, it's kind of a framework, but it's after a while it becomes so natural to you. And we often sometimes start very high level, thinking, oh, people are aware of it. But if you really start from the very basic, every time you are going to explain something, even if people know it, they will appreciate it. And it really brings the whole room on the same page if you start from the very basic, that, hey, we're here to achieve this, and this is the context that we're talking about. Now, as I said, we talk to a lot of people during our job, from users to stakeholders to management and whatnot. And we always want to sort of understand the context of the user, right? What are they wanting to do? What problem they are wanting to solve, so that we can help them better. And a big part of sort of talking to people is that each individual is different. And if you understand what sort of individual you are talking to, it would be easier for us to tailor our communication, right? And I think we don't have to do a lot of work ourselves to understand, really get into the brains of of the person we're talking to. But a lot of research has already been done. Robert Kagan, professor from Harvard, who's a renowned psychologist, had presented this theory of adult development theory. And what he was talking about more is how humans grow up from a stage 1 of impulsive mind of early childhood to a stage 5 of self-transforming mind. I mean, that's what one should aim for, to get to that stage where you are in a highly enlightened and self-awareness. But of course, not everybody gets there. But if we sort of understand the person that we're talking to, where is that person standing in that stage? I think we can tailor our communication to sort of come to the same wavelength. So, for example, I mean, I'll leave stage 1 of impulsive mind, even though you do meet sometimes people in company who still sort of behave like a child. If they're senior to you, they're your boss, you can't do much about it. You just deal with it. But let's get into stage 2. So, imperial mind, which Robert mentioned, that 6% of adult population still sort of falls into this category. And I mean, this is just a overall number in your company. I don't know, maybe there's nobody with Imperial Mind, or maybe there are many. But Imperial Mind is a person, when you're talking to someone, you know that if he has a sense of Imperial, giving you a vibe of an Imperial Mind, what does it mean? This person, usually they're very egocentric people, and they put their need first no matter what, right? They are right. I'm sure some of it resonates to you. But if you meet someone who's such an egocentric personality that you're dealing with, you have to know that you cannot sort of hurt their ego, right? It'll not go any right way from there. And I mean, ideally, I think if you're hiring or somebody in your team, you shouldn't be working with a person of that mindset. It's very hard. I mean, it depends if you as a company or as a leader want to invest and help them grow into a stage 3 or 4. It's often hard, but and if that person is your boss in itself, then you can't do much, especially the degree of pain you will experience. Nevertheless, at least if you have that understanding, you'll be aware how you sort of deal with that sort of person. The bigger pool of people that fall into stage 3 is the socialized mind. Like almost 60% of the adult population falls in that range. And normally humans, as they grow, they have matured into a socialized mind, where society norms are important to you. They're the friendly bunch. They care about people. They care about what people think about them, which is a different thing to talk about. But still, these are the people who are the supportive bunch. They are the connective tissues into the company. This is the group that you want to bring together and then march towards your goal, right? They will always be the helping hand for you. They're easy to work with sort of people around. And then you enter the stage 4, that's the self-authoring mind. Self-authoring mind is the stage where people have developed their own set of values and norms. They don't go by the societal norms, but they have their own set of model to judge things. They're also in a pretty self-awareness state. They can keep their biases behind when they're making a decision. And they value facts. So you got to bring them facts, bring them data stories, bring them clear communication, and they will be on your side, right? I'm sure we have encountered a lot of stage 4 leaders. And stage 5 is then this self-transforming mind, where you're in this high awareness state, where you also put your own biases and your own system behind when judging something. And sort of you don't judge anything, you just take things as they are. It's really, really empowering if you ever get to work with a person of that stature. I think they also grow you subconsciously. Just being around them, you grow as a person and as a leader. But yeah, Robert Kagan's theory was how human minds evolves into these 5 stages. But we as PM or as people working and talking to so many people around the company, if we know what kind of personality or mindset we are dealing with, and we can tailor our communication to match their mindset, right? So having this understanding, having a clear communication to understand your audience, and then always have this goal and context in place. Start with the very basics so that everybody is aware what you're talking about. It really helps you put things into perspective with clarity. So that's just one aspect of and one skill of communication that as a PM I realized that I need to be really, really good at. Then of course we have design. Now design and PM, there has been recently a lot of discussion around Airbnb, but how as a PM, how do you collaborate with the designer? And I think we are, as a PM, also the advocate of the users. and designers as well, right? In fact, product design these days, they do a lot of user research and prototyping. They are more, sometimes they have more time at hand to really go deep with the user. And they, of course, are also the advocate of the user. And to work great, to work very collaboratively with your designer, I think what is really important is to bring your designer as quickly into the discussion as possible. I mean, really, as we are identifying the problem, do it together with the designer. I have seen in my career often whenever there's some friction between PM and design, it would often be if design the PM is just parachuting with the problem and saying that, hey, we have this sort of concern, and we need to let's build a prototype, we will test it. That's not right? But if you bring your designer as quickly as possible, even when you are sort of constructing the problem statement, and you do that, take that journey together, it becomes everybody's goal, right? And understand the user motivation together, and then you can build that seamless experience together. Of course, where PM brings clarity is on the business acumen side of things, because not every problem, not everything that the user is asking for is worth solving, or we should be solving as a business, right? That's something that we have to gauge in terms of where's the money for? Is this the right problem to solve? That we'll discuss a little later. But yeah, I think this is also a big topic in itself. But the only thing I have to say here is bring your designer as quickly as possible. Construct the problem together. Yeah, let's. I mean, your designer. I think you bring in the business acumen, and you over time. As a PM, what design skills do I need to have? I think you have to have an eye for design, and that you get over time. Use as many apps as possible. Try different apps, and after a while, you would start to question things that, oh, well, that's interesting. Why did this app sort of decided to have that sort of flow, that sort of experience? Oh, this onboarding is interesting. I mean, recently I downloaded a fintech app, a banking app in Germany, and the moment I downloaded it from the App Store, I was shocked. They had my last name on the welcome screen. And that's not common. And I was kind of shocked that how in the first load, they could get my name, because you cannot fetch it from App Store. And I did a little bit of digging and understood, oh, I was using another app from them, and it was the same developer. And then, of course, you can share data internally, and that's how they sort of got my name. But I mean, that it was a great experience in that sense, but quite shocking. But these are the things that make you curious, and then you learn about design itself, and then your designer is there to help you, educate you, and then you learn with time. But yeah. Matter of fact, we have to make the experience for the user convenient, because that's what people pay for. They pay for convenience. Then engineering. Now here, again, depending on what stage you are, where you are, your EM, Director of Engineering, is your partner in crime. But as a PM, what you bring to the team is, again, clarity, right? What skills do you need to have? Of course, you just need to have those sort of engineering skills where you understand is the solution feasible, right? And with time, you also become engineer enough to kind of understand this when you're in some discussions. But again, your engineering manager or director of engineering is there to sort of help you. You have to do scoping, of course. I always believe that it's okay to cut corners to ship things fast. Because until we have put things out into the market, it's just a lot of opinion talking. And you talk to users, you do some user interviews, but you really learn things at scale. And people surprise you once you put things out in the market, right? So really, it's cut corners to ship as quickly as possible. Of course, there's a whole MVP discussion that it's an old topic of itself. But scoping is also one core responsibility. And again, I see over the years there's one thing that I mentioned here: shielding your team. I think it's very easily teams can get deviated and with small little requests here and there, and it's really product leaders' responsibility to shield your team and make sure that they are working on the most important thing. It's one tiny ticket here and there can really sometimes navigate. I was in the team, sometimes they have three different focuses and nothing is really getting done. So and just pressure from sometimes stakeholders. Give them the piece that they can really experiment and do their job. That's a little bit of the engineering bit, and now into the business acumen. So I think design and engineering, we have a whole design team and engineering team to help us and make better decisions. But communication and business acumen is something that I think PM has to be really, really strong at. And business acumen, what is business acumen? It's just an understanding of where the money is coming from. What's the unit economics? What is the real USP of our product? And we have to prioritize what is best for the business. Like I was discussing when I was talking about working with designer, we have to solve users' problem, but not every problem is worth solving. I'll give you a very good example of when I was working with the ride-hailing company. We partnered with a lot of chauffeurs around the world, right? And it was a reverse Dutch auction. So if somebody has booked a ride in Paris, then we auction that ride to a pool of chauffeurs. And the longer a ride sits into the system, bad it is for the business. Meaning, let's say we start auctioning a ride at $18 or euros. Nobody took it in 10 minutes, price goes up to $20 and then 22 and so on. So it's good for us that the ride is picked up as quickly as possible. Now, if a chauffeur in Paris opens the app, there are hundreds of rides to choose from, right? And of course, we had some basic filters that we want to give them so they can filter their ride according to their needs. And one of the most asked filter was airport filter, right? Why? Because airport pickup, airport drop off. Because airport drop off rides are pretty smooth, right? You pick up the guest, you drop them at the curbside at the airport, and you're just off. If it's an airport pickup, you have to go park the car, track the flight, wait for the guest. They were a little painful. Of course, there was some markup on those rides, but still. Now, they wanted my users at that point in time wanted airport filter. But if I were to give them an airport filter, what would happen is people would quickly take away all the airport drop-off rides, right? And all the airport pickup rides would be lying around in the system, and of course, would becoming more expensive for the business. We did build it and test it, and eventually did not do it because for the same reason that it was not good for the profit margin. So this is something that my users are asking for, and I should be solving the problem, but it's not really right for the business. So we as PM have to understand that and bring that balance, that there's some good friction that should be having, and if there is some let's say case to it that you can build, I don't know, some priority feature that you pay and get, that's a different idea and brainstorm. And so you got to see what is the user ready to pay for, or what is good for the business, and that's what we should be building, right? So yeah, clarity of communication and business acumen are the two strong traits that a PM has to guide sort of alone. And design and engineering is something that we have. Great. So we are almost sort of at the end of it. And to summarize it all, as I have experienced and learned over the years, communication, design, engineering, and business acumen are the core for core skills that a good PM needs to master. And it's a long journey. I'm still, it's like I think it's really, really hard to be a great PM. There's just so much to learn and do, but learn about the mindsets of people around you. It will really help you do your job better. And then, of course, there are thousands of frameworks that we use day to day that we will keep using. But understanding the mindset of your team, your company, your people around, and practicing this clear and concise communication will eventually lead us into the journey of becoming a good to maybe um, towards a great PM. Okay, and that was pretty much the talk. I hope no matter what stage you are in your product journey, there's something for you to take from the talk. I wrote an article on Medium, which with the same tagline, product management beyond frameworks, and which is just talking about the same my learnings and journey over the years into product. Now let me see if we are doing some sort of Q&A here. Great. Tiffany saying fabulous presentation. As someone also coming from engineering background, this has been critical skill I found. Thank you, Tiffany. Yeah, I think this my biggest thing moving from engineering to product was this mindset shift that it's not about the solution anymore, right? It's not my job. I have a whole set of tech team to support me. My job is to really construct the right problem, and that's where the whole magic. I think that's the base of it, right? And that's thereafter the whole job starts. But if we got the problem wrong, then all the efforts, follow-up efforts, are not really worth it. Okay. I don't think there is any other. Can you follow me? Yeah, I think I am on LinkedIn and Twitter. It should be in my in the notes here. I can post in my LinkedIn here if. Oh, am I? Let me see. And yeah, I would love to exchange thoughts from like-minded people. I don't know where I can share it, but I'll drop my LinkedIn into the chat. And yeah, great. I think we are just 2 minutes in, and so there's one question from Jack here. How would you understand an engineer's mindset whose specialized field is new to you? So if I get the question right, how do you understand an engineer's mindset whose specialized field is new to me? So new to you as a PM. I think engineers, inherently want to solve problems and help people. So if you approach that engineer with a learning mindset, that you're coming and approaching the person to learn something from them, and of course bring your thought into it, but more from a learning side of things, I'm sure it would go pretty smooth. But again, to understand what mindset they belong to, I think it needs to be need to communicate them, right? If they are really this imperial mind and high on ego, then you will know pretty quickly. But still, if you keep your head down in this learning mindset, then they would I think they would kind of help you and yeah, help you achieve your goal. Yeah, I can drop the Medium article as well here. which is this product management beyond framework. I also wrote one in 2018 about moving from engineering to product, which has some top 10 learnings of how to approach it. You can follow, check that as well on my on the Medium page. Great. Thank you so much, Jonathan, for your kind words. And I think it's about time now. We've just hit the 30-minute mark. Thank you so much for your time and attention. And I hope you all enjoy your individual ride into product. Thank you.